Hello and welcome to the Financial Week. I'm Anthony Lugg. At least 2 Caribbean leaders want the global financial architecture to be balanced. They are concerned about the flow of resources, which they feel has left smaller states disadvantaged. Ramada Lyons reports.
And the anger and the mistrust of our citizens and institutions, in leaders, in multilateralism, and in the processes which exclude while yielding much talk and little action is very real.
Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley, in a passionate presentation on day 4 of the general debate as part of the United Nations General Assembly, she called for a reset of financial distribution so there can be equity among developing countries.
And nowhere is reform and consequentially trust and hope more important to the well-being of billions of people today than in relation to the global financial architecture. Restricted access to capital, its disproportionately high costs, barring us from doing that which we must.
Prime Minister of the Bahamas, Philip Davis, shared similar sentiments.
For too long, the global financial system has been skewed against developing nations. It is a cruel irony that industrialized nations who bear the greatest responsibility for the climate crisis often perpetuate another form of injustice in the form of our current global system.
They said inadequate scale and the overwhelming burden of debt are leaving leaders of smaller countries with little to no choice when making decisions for sustainable development.
These are all now combining to force governments in the world's poorest countries, and frankly, across many vulnerable middle-income countries, to devote more resources to debt service than to health and education, and in some instances, even infrastructure.
The present system, with its dark rules and uneven playing field, drains resources from developing countries, leaving us to grapple with the consequences. The Bahamas refuses to accept this double standard.
Ramada Lyons, TVJ News.
Jamaicans paid more for health-related goods and services in the last year. The point-to-point rate for the year, which ended August, was 4.3%. Looking at the month of August alone, there was a 0.3% rise in costs associated with the health division, according to Statin. The entity says there was a similar increase in prices for medicines and health products. This was influenced mainly by higher prices for some prescription medicine and over-the-counter cough syrup. Compared to the month of July, Statin says outpatient care services increased by an average 0.3% due to increased fees for some general practitioners. The Jamaican dollar lost 68 cents compared to the U.S. currency to close off trading on Friday. Trading ended with banks and cambios selling the American dollar for an average $158.72. The Canadian dollar is being sold for $117.94. $214.19 is the average value of the pound, while the euro is going for $180.02. The JSE index gained 3,160 points today, while the junior market increased by 32 points. Among the 73 winners were MPC Caribbean Clean Energy, First Rock Real Estate Investments US Dollar Shares, Berger Paints, The Lab, and 138 Student Living Jamaica VR Preference Shares. The 24 losers included AS Bryden and Sons Holdings, Edufocal, QWI Investments, Dermont Trading, and Epley 7.5%. 17 stocks closed the session, selling at the same price they started trading. And that's the Financial Week. I'm Anthony Lugg. International news next.